I'm here once again in the city of Newburgh, New York. This time to relay a cautionary tale about selling your bicycle on eBay. See, lately I find that nobody is buying bikes on Craigslist. Including, for example, this Raleigh Grand Prix, which had been upgraded with alloy wheels and so on and so forth. It sat on Craigslist for months. Nobody wanted it. And the guys who used to come up from New York City and buy bikes from me, well, one of them's driving a Winnebago around Central America. The other one I haven't heard from in years. So, I decided that in order to get rid of some of these bikes, I had to sell them on eBay, which I really didn't want to do, because it's kind of a pain in the ass. But, I went ahead and did it. Now this one sold for $100, $99.95 plus shipping, and I got ready to ship it. Now when you ship a bike, it needs to fit into a big flat box. So you gotta make the bike into like a pancake. And you can see, maybe, that that's what I was doing here. Took off the front wheel, and the front wheel goes on the other side of the frame and tucks in between the crank arm. I protected the frame here, here, and here with some cardboard so that when the front wheel rubs up against it, it doesn't scratch the paint, because you wouldn't want to scratch the paint on this bike. And I used a lot of cardboard and tape and bubble wrap to protect the fork so the fork doesn't bend or get squashed. Took off the saddle bag right here. Took off the seat right here, you can see that, and the seat post. The pedals I already took off months ago and sold on eBay because they were some kind of fancy schmancy pedals. I even took off the pump that was on the frame in here. See? And the front wheel skewer. Even the little pump bracket. See, I know how to ship a bike. Now, what's the mistake I made? What's this warning all about? Well, you see, I've shipped dozens of bikes over the years, but I haven't done it in a long, long time. So I made a rookie mistake. See, when you ship a bike, you gotta take the seat out, seat post, you gotta take the pedals out, and you gotta take the stem out. But guess what? I didn't check to see if I could take out the seat post. I didn't have to worry about the pedals, those were already gone. But the stem, I forgot to check. That's number one. If you're gonna sell a bike on eBay, make sure you can get the stem out of the fork, the seat post out of the frame, and the pedals out of the cranks. And I guess the front wheel off the frame too. But front wheels almost never get stuck in place. So, I'm merrily enjoying the process of packing this bike up, and then I get to this fork. And it will not budge. So I loosen this nut, and it's one of those nuts that's like stuck in place because the stem is too thick. Still the fork won't budge. So I get out my can of WD-40, squirt a little on there, let it soak in for like an hour. Apply some gentle persuasion, thing will not budge. And now at this point, I've got to make a decision. What am I gonna do? So, a little more WD-40. I could have used, Kano Kroil, I could have soaked it, I could have... Obviously, if this is an expensive bike with an expensive fork and an expensive stem, you want to take precautions. And just in case you think I'm stupid, the wedge bolt is totally loose. The wedge is loose, the bolt is loose. So, after a couple hours of soaking and applying even more gentle persuasion, I came to a conclusion, which was that I had fucked up the fork real bad, because I was putting like a pipe in here and holding it, and that usually works. But the thing is, there's a fine line between gentle persuasion and fucking up your fork. So at that point I realized I gotta give the bidder his money back. So I did. I emailed him, I said, my apologies, I made a dumb mistake. Refunded him his $159.95. I never heard from him, so I don't know if he's mad or not. Now, on the bright side, look at this bike. We have Suntour bar-end shifters. Those are probably worth $30. We have Campagnolo hubs, so they're probably worth $40. We have A generic Raleigh crankset, I'll probably get 10, 20 bucks for that. Raleigh derailleurs, probably get 10, 20 bucks for those. Raleigh brakes. I mean, these aren't like really super desirable parts or anything. I can't sell that fork though. These aren't really super desirable parts, but the parts on this bike will add up easily to the $100 that I was trying to get from it in the first place. I don't like doing that. I don't like parting out bikes, especially ones like this that are sort of custom built or upgraded, bikes that have a history. You know, I want it to stay together, but unfortunately I just could not get the stem out. So what I'm ultimately gonna do, strip the parts that I can strip, cut off the stem, save the bolts, save the handlebars, save the shifters, save everything. I'll even save this little seat post bolt. Those things are, I mean, they're only worth a couple of bucks, but they're incredibly valuable when you need one. And so this poor bike will donate its parts. And that's what I should have done in the first place. That's what I would have done if I had had the common sense to check the stem. And in my defense, I do have the common sense to check the stem. I just forgot because it's been so long since I sold a bike on eBay. So there's your lesson for the day. Before you list a bike on eBay, as long as you're going to ship it and it's not just local pickup, make sure to check the stem to see if you can get it out of the fork, check the seat post to see if you can get it out of the frame, and check the pedals to make sure you can get them out of the cranks. Good luck and happy cycling.